Hello, everybody. Welcome in here to the Tuesday edition of Trending Politics Live. Everybody, my name is Clayton Kearns. You guys know, many of you guys here join me every single day, and I'm happy to have you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know, I thought that the Democrat National Convention was going to give us some good material. I did not know it would give us the kind of material it gave us on day one. I mean, they came out swinging with falsehoods, with ridiculous claims, with things that I can't believe that I heard. The things that came out of some of these people's mouths, I cannot believe it. We're going to get into all of this right now, you guys. But first, I want to say, if you guys enjoy my daily live streams, text the word trending to 31996. Okay, so we often send out notifications from our app or whatever, but some people have told us, hey, I want to get notified right when you guys go live via text message. So we're going to start testing this out a little bit later this week. So if you would like SMS text updates of whenever we go live, then text the word trending to 31996. I'll leave that up for a few minutes so you guys can write that down, okay? So anyways, everybody, we have a lot to get into, so I am going to dive right into it. I want to thank every single person for being on here right now. You guys are awesome. So the first thing I want to talk about is Andrew Cuomo. This guy, there are no words for what I can, how I can describe this man. So let's get right into it. As you guys know, New York has had an absolute disastrous response to the coronavirus. I'm going to get into all those numbers here after I play this clip, but let's listen to Andrew Cuomo say that New York's handling of the coronavirus was beautiful. Watch this.
And for all the pain and all the tears, our way worked, and it was beautiful. We showed that our better angels are strong, and that Americans will rise to their call. We saw that even at the end of the day, even if it is a long day, that love wins. Americans' eyes have been opened, and we have seen in this crisis the truth that government matters and leadership matters. And it determines whether we thrive and grow or whether we live or die.
So there you have it, everyone. Andrew Cuomo just said that our way, meaning New York's way, worked. Really? Okay. Let's get into this a little bit then, shall we? How about this? Everybody, according to Andrew Cuomo, New York's way of handling the coronavirus worked, okay? I want to show you guys something. I'm going to come over here to my screen. I hope you guys, this is all good to you guys. So I want to show you New York here, okay? New York has 32,931 deaths. Can you guys see that? Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, either way, everybody. So let me just show you this real quick. New York has 32,931 deaths, okay? By far the most in the United States. The next closest state is New Jersey with 16,000. Now, they have more than double the next state. They have nearly 3 times as much as California, even though California has almost 200,000 more cases. Okay? They have more than 3 times the death that Texas does, and Texas has over 100,000 more cases, and they have well over 3 times the amount of Florida deaths, and Florida as well has over 100,000 more cases than New York. But to make things even worse, everyone, take note of the number. New York has 32,000 deaths, okay? Only 5 other countries, excluding the United States, have more deaths than New York does as a state. So we have Italy with 35,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only Brazil, Mexico, India, the UK, and Italy have more deaths as a country than New York does as a state. And you see these cases. You see these cases as well. But still, New York found a way to be the worst at handling this crisis. The very fact that Andrew Cuomo continues to be praised by the mainstream media, by the Democrats, absolutely makes me sick to my stomach. When I saw these comments last night, I was literally sick to my stomach. The fact that they can bootlick for this guy like none other blows my mind away because he is a Democrat. Everyone say it with me, because he is a Democrat. So he gets special privileges, he gets special exceptions, and it's absolutely disgusting. But that wasn't the only controversial thing that our Mr. Andrew Cuomo said. Andrew Cuomo, even though the virus started in China, even though China lied and people died, even though this all originated in Wuhan, China, this man just looked at the American people with a straight face and called it the European virus. You have to see it to believe it.
Donald Trump didn't create the initial division. The division created Trump. He only made it worse. Our collective strength is exercised through government. It is, in effect, our immune system. And our current federal government is dysfunctional and incompetent. It couldn't fight off the virus. In fact, it didn't even see it coming. The European virus infected the Northeast while the White House was still fixated on China. The virus had been attacking us for months before they even knew it was here. We saw the failure of a...
First of all, Andrew Cuomo was not saying these things about President Trump in the thick of the coronavirus. He was actually praising President Trump. He was actually giving President Trump kudos. But let's look past that for right now. This man just looked at you dead in the eye and called it the European virus. He did it for a few different reasons. Number one is because he knows he's not going to get called out by the media. He knows that there are some American people out there who are just going to blindly believe him. And number three, it is a gut punch to the people who call it the Chinese virus, because it is the Chinese virus. If you agree that it is the Chinese virus, then in the comment section below, I want you to put in big bold letters, Chinese virus. Chinese virus, because it absolutely is. We cannot let this propaganda continue to go on. He sat there and called it the European virus just because people like us are calling it the Chinese virus, even though he knows where it started, even though he knows where it originated. He knows who lied about it, and he knows that people died because people lied about it, because China lied about it. Another thing that he did is he is trying to make the Democrats are blatantly telling you now that they believe that you're stupid. They are blatantly telling you now that they believe that you are stupid, that you're going to believe that this thing is actually the European virus. Seriously, that is what they believe. That is what they think about you. That you're just going to sit back and say, oh, yeah, I guess it was the European virus because it hit Europe. And here's the final thing, the final reason he did that is because the Democrats are in bed with China. They are buddies. The Chinese Communist Party has done all types of horrors, all types of terrible things. And the Democrats are in bed with them. They've even said that China wants Joe Biden to win. Tell me how that actually makes sense. Tell me how that's a good thing when the Chinese Communist Party wants your candidate to win. Tell me how that's a good thing. So again, this is not the European virus, Andrew Cuomo. This is the Chinese virus. And everybody on this comment section, if you haven't already, type below the Chinese virus, because that is exactly what it is. Do not let the Democrats get away with it. Do not let the Democrats get away with it, because they are trying and they need to be held accountable. That wasn't the only thing that was said last night. That was ridiculous. Early on in the day, they just came out swinging. They had a Democrat panelist of young voices, and they're straight up calling for the abolition of capitalism. They said that the future we want, the future they want, is the destruction of capitalism. They also said that we have to destroy white supremacy. How many white supremacists do you actually see out in the streets? Actually, we see more black supremacists out in the streets right now, but how many white supremacists do you actually see? I'm sure there are some, but everyone says like, oh, well, just watch this, you guys. She's calling for the great destruction of capitalism?
Because we understand that this future that we all want, that we're all trying to build, really is about the destruction of colonization, white supremacy, and capitalism. We must really move away from these systems and these frameworks if we really want to live in a future that does have a regenerative economy and does enable liberation and equity for our communities. This is definitely.
So there you have it, folks. They said we need to do away with these systems of white supremacy and of capitalism. First of all, there is no white supremacy system in place right now in the United States of America. As I said, I am against any racial supremacy. I am against white supremacists. I am against black supremacists. I am against any supremacist group. Okay? But to act like white supremacists run that's what she's basically saying, is that they believe, many people who are going to be casting ballots for the Democrat Party this November, they believe that our country is run by white supremacists. They literally do. This is how far gone the left is. But then she wants to call for the destruction of capitalism. Meanwhile, she's probably streaming that live stream from her computer, from her Mac, from her Microsoft computer, which she bought because of capitalism, because she was able to earn her own money to buy, because of capitalism. She probably has an iPhone, so if she doesn't like capitalism, then she should ditch everything. She should ditch everything, because every single thing that she has purchased has attributed to someone else's hard work and success and wealth. And so, guys, we have to keep standing up for this. We can't let this pass anymore. And I'm going to be bringing you this truth every single day, you guys. So that's one thing. And then we come to Michelle Obama. And oh boy, was she hyped up. She basically is saying President Trump is the worst man ever, because she's claiming that Trump is throwing kids in cages. We all know that's not the whole story, but if you can stomach it, let's watch a few seconds of what she said, and then let's completely debunk her.
Greed is good and winning is everything, because as long as you come out on top, it doesn't matter what happens to everyone else. And they see what happens when that lack of empathy is ginned up into outright disdain. They see our leaders labeling fellow citizens enemies of the state while emboldening torch-bearing white supremacists. They watch in horror as children are torn from their families and thrown into cages, and pepper spray and rubber bullets are used on peaceful protesters for a photo op. Sadly, this is the America that is on display for the next generation. A nation that's underperforming not simply on matters of
All right, I can't take it anymore. I literally can't take it anymore. All right, man, where to begin? So first of all, pepper spray on peaceful protesters? Really? So you're saying that the people who are throwing Molotov cocktails at cops, setting federal courthouses on fire, are those the peaceful protesters you're talking about? Are the peaceful protesters the ones who are walking up to people in vehicles with AK-47s and threatening them? Are those the peaceful protesters you're talking about? Are the peaceful protesters the one who are ripping people out of their vehicle and beating them within an inch of their life? Are these the peaceful protesters that you're talking about, Michelle Obama? Really? And number two is this whole concept of white supremacy. They are pushing this thing that the president is a white supremacist and that he's emboldening white supremacists. That is not the case. Anyone with half a brain can see that, but they want to push their narrative. Now, I also want to show you that, her whole thing about the kids in cages, well, that was so bad that even left-wing media sources have debunked her what she was saying. She said, oh, the kids in cages, but she failed to mention that her own husband is the one who built the damn cages. Here's what I wrote this article today on trendingpolitics.com. The Chicago Tribune said, the reference to cages is misleading and a matter that the Democrats have persistently distorted. Trump used facilities that were built during the Obama-Biden administration to house children at the border. They are chain-link enclosures. The Associated Press also brutally fact-checked her and says, what Obama did not say is that those very same cages were built and used in her husband's administration for the same purpose of holding migrant children. So, the words that I'm speaking here are not going to do anything for you. I mean, they're not going to do anything for any liberals watching this, because to them, Michelle Obama is just someone to worship. But for anyone with half a brain, and for anyone who still has a little bit of reasonable thinking left in their minds, we have to call this out. The Trump administration is not full of white supremacists, and they are not emboldening white supremacists. President Trump has been very clear from day one that he's for all people. He has consistently touted the success of the African American community under his administration, under the Hispanic population under his administration, under everybody under the Trump administration. Okay? These cages that are housing kids, they were not built by President Trump. They were built by her husband, Barack Obama. Do not listen to a word she says. I know that you guys don't, but we have to keep the pressure on. We absolutely have to. The final thing here. Oh man. I know that not many of you actually watched the event. We all probably saw the clips online. Well, apparently, if you were only watching the event online, you got an extra special surprise of one of the most cringe-worthy musical performances that you've ever seen in your life. Apparently, the Democrats are so low on fundraising that they had to go super low budget with this music video that you're about to see. Sit back and prepare for the cringe.
Good night.
What is happening?
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. Think it's time we start. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
I don't know what's happening, people.
There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right, everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their mind. So much resistance from behind. We gotta stop. Children, what's
All right, we're going to stop it right there. I don't know if they couldn't get Shakira or they couldn't get any stars to do this, you guys. But I swear to God, this production that I'm putting on right now in my office is more high-tech than that production that the DNC has, and they bring in millions of dollars. Guys, I don't know what to think about that. That either tells me that they didn't think anyone was going to see that, or they are just running low on political donations, and they didn't have any other way to express that, to have an event or some sort of musical performance. People, I have no idea what to think about that. When I saw that, my jaw dropped to the floor for the first time, and watching it again is just as cringeworthy. I have no idea what to make of that, people. But that was probably the best thing that came from this whole event. I mean, they talked politics for hours, but that was probably the best thing that came from this whole thing. So anyways, people, I hope you guys enjoyed that in a way. It's very, very interesting. The final thing I want to talk about is that a political ad started going viral yesterday, and I first saw it pop up in my feed a few times. And I was like, okay, I'm sure it's a good ad or whatever. Well, this thing has now gotten millions and millions of views on Twitter and keeps going viral every single hour that it's active. and it is a Baltimore Republican woman. She's a black woman. She's running for the Republican seat, and she just dismantled every single reason why anyone would ever want to vote for a Democrat again if you were an African American voter. This is brilliant. This is perfect. I hope this ad is not only run in Baltimore, but I hope they redo this ad and put it everywhere, because this really puts into perspective about the monopoly that the Democrats have always had on the black vote, but things have never gotten better. Please take a couple minutes to watch this, because pay close attention to the messaging, the facts, and everything that she talks about, guys. It's really, really good. Check this out.
Do you care about black lives? The people that run Baltimore don't. I can prove it. Walk with me. They don't want you to see this.
Kim Classic, everybody. Watch this.
I'm Kim Klasick. This is
Klasick.
Baltimore. The real Baltimore. This is the reality for black people every single day. Crumbling infrastructure, abandoned homes, poverty, and crime. Baltimore has been run by the Democrat Party for 53 years. What is the result of their decades of leadership? Baltimore is one of the top 5 most dangerous cities in America. The murder rate in Baltimore is 10 times the U.S. average.
Yep.
The Baltimore poverty rate is over 20%. Homicide, drug, and alcohol deaths are skyrocketing in our city. Do you believe Black Lives Matter? I do. The vast majority of crime in Baltimore is perpetrated against black people, who make up 60% of the population. So why don't we care about our communities? The Democrat Party have betrayed the black people of Baltimore. If the politicians walked the streets like I do, they would see exactly how their policies and corruption affects us. But they don't want to see it. They don't want you to see this. Go to any Baltimore neighborhood and ask this question. Do you want to defund the police?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
I had 3 sons killed in Baltimore City. And I think if we defund the police officer, it's going to be worse than that.
Yep.
So no, I'm opposed to that.
What are you going to defund the police for? Why? How do you defend your city, your community? Families are losing people.
It's not just Baltimore. The worst place for a black person to live in America is a Democrat-controlled city. It's 2020. Name a blue city where black people's lives have gotten better. Try. I'll wait.
So good.
Look at this. How are children supposed to live here and play here? Democrats think black people are stupid. They think they can control us forever.
Someone's
that we
over,
won't
guys.
demand better and that we'll keep voting for them forever, despite what they've done to our families and our communities. Are they right? I'm Kim Klasick, and I'm running for Congress because I actually care about black lives. All black lives matter. Our communities matter. Baltimore matters. And black people don't have to vote Democrat.
Yes. Man, bravo. That ad right there is absolutely amazing, guys. If you guys want to go support her, Kim Klasick, probably just look her up online, her website or Twitter, whatever, you guys. But that right there, that formula should be duplicated all across the nation. I mean, it's a very, very basic premise. Name one blue city where black people's lives have gotten better. Name, and again, the whole thing about Black Lives Matter is that this is the verbal jujitsu that Black Lives Matter has played on the American people. They say Black Lives Matter, but they have very strategically named their organization something so incredibly broad. However, when we take their name literally, they say, well, it's not all black lives. We're just focused on inequality, injustice, and police brutality right now. Then we're like, okay, fine. If you only want to focus on that, whatever. And then when we're not down with the Black Lives Matter organization, guess what? Then they weaponize the name Black Lives Matter against us in a broad fashion. And they tell us, oh my God, you don't support Black Lives Matter? You don't care about black lives. But that's just what we were saying a minute ago. We were saying we care about all black lives. And so it is just a mess. This message here by Kim Klasick was put so perfectly, so well done, so concise in her arguments. I hope she wins. She seems like a very, very intelligent woman. I really, really hope she wins. So Go check her out. I'm sure she's got Twitter, Facebook, everything like that, you guys. But that message right there is definitely a winning one. So, everybody, with that said, I appreciate every single one of you guys. As I said before, if you guys want to get text message notifications whenever we go live, text the word trending to 31996. I'll leave that up for another second here so you guys can write that down. But every single day, you guys, I'm on here live at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow. Tonight, we've got another cast of far-left socialists going on stage at the Democrat National Convention, and we're going to be bringing all you guys those updates tomorrow because they're going to be an absolute doozy. Make sure you go into trendingpolitics.com every single day. Always getting news stories up there. Great stuff. Go to ilovemyfreedom.com as well. And you guys, I got to tell you something. So as many of you guys know, we have our physical newsletter every single month, okay? If you go to tpnewsletter.com, you can sign up for the subscription. Now, so if you order now, then you're going to get the August edition. But you're also going to get on the list for the September edition. And September is the 1-year anniversary that we've been doing this. So it's going to be the 1-year special edition anniversary. It is going to by far be our biggest issue. It's probably going to be like 40 or 44 pages, something like that. We are putting together an exceptional exceptional newsletter for September on the 1-year anniversary. It has been an amazing ride. It's been great because we can say whatever we want in here, and the Democrats are not going to censor us. We talk about inconvenient statistics that they don't want us to talk about. We can talk about stories that they don't want us to talk about. I got to tell you guys something. We have advertisers on our website, right? Google is one of the advertisers on trendingpolitics.com. They basically decide which ads are played. They are telling us to take down certain content, and they are threatening demonetization because we have certain content up. That's not false at all, but they are going after any content that is negative against Kamala Harris and exposing the truth about her. And trust me, everyone, in the September edition of our newsletter, you're going to see exactly who Kamala Harris is. I don't care if I'm saying her name wrong. There's a million ways to say it. Everyone gets triggered by it. Oh, well. Everybody, so if you guys want to get on that list and get the August one within the next week or so, and if you also want to get the September one, go to tpnewsletter.com right now and subscribe. People also like to have them as kind of like little collector's items because this is the last time that President Trump is ever going to be president of the this last time he's ever going to be able to run for president, and it's nice to have a little memento. Okay, so everybody, I love every single one of you guys. Appreciate you always for joining on here. You guys are amazing. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and you guys all have a really good rest of your Tuesday. Okay, I'll talk to you guys very soon.